Did you know teddy bears are named after a president of the United States? It's true. His name was Theodore Roosevelt, but everyone called him Teddy. He was the 26th president and he was a big fan of hunting. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But first, can you imagine a world without teddy bears? No fluffy friends to cuddle with at night or to keep you company during the day. It's hard to imagine, right? Well, believe it or not, teddy bears haven't been around forever. They have a really interesting history. Let's go back in time and find out how the teddy bear got its name and how it became one of the most beloved toys in the world. Our story takes us back to 1902. President Teddy Roosevelt was on a hunting trip in Mississippi. Now, President Roosevelt loved to hunt, but he also believed in being fair. He never wanted to kill an animal just for fun. He made sure that the animals he hunted were used for food. On this particular trip, though, President Roosevelt wasn't having much luck. He had been out in the woods for days, and his assistants were worried that he would be disappointed. They wanted him to have a successful hunt. Finally, they found a bear and tied it to a tree. They called President Roosevelt over and told him to shoot it. But when he saw the poor scared bear tied up, he refused. He said it wasn't sporting to shoot an animal that couldn't defend itself. News of President Roosevelt's kind act spread quickly across the country. A newspaper cartoonist named Clifford Berryman even drew a cartoon about it, which was printed in newspapers everywhere. Back then, people didn't have TV or the internet, so newspapers were how they got their news. When people saw the cartoon of President Roosevelt refusing to shoot the helpless bear, they loved it. They thought it was a very kind and compassionate thing to do. A candy shop owner in New York City named Morris Mictum saw the cartoon too. He had a great idea. Morris and his wife Rose made toy bears in their shop. He thought, why not make a special bear and name it after President Roosevelt? Morris got to work. He made a cuddly toy bear with soft brown fur and called it the teddy bear. He even sent one to President Roosevelt and asked for his permission to use his name. President Roosevelt loved it. Morris put the teddy bear in the window of his shop, and guess what? People went wild. They loved the idea of a cuddly toy named after their kind president. Everyone wanted a teddy bear of their own. They sold out so fast that Morris had to make more and more. Pretty soon, other toy makers started making teddy bears too. They came in different sizes, from tiny bears that fit in your pocket to giant bears you could barely hug. Teddy bear mania had swept the nation. From toy shops to history books, teddy bears became a huge part of popular culture. They weren't just toys anymore. They were featured in songs, books, and even movies. Remember Winnie the Pooh? He's one of the most famous teddy bears of all time. Over the years, the basic design of the teddy bear stayed pretty much the same. They still had soft fur, button eyes, and jointed limbs. But toy makers got more creative with their materials and designs. They made bears in different colors and with different outfits. Teddy bears became a symbol of comfort and friendship. Children loved to take them on adventures and share secrets with them. Soldiers going off to war would often carry small teddy bears for good luck. And guess what? Over 100 years later, we're still just as crazy about teddy bears as people were back then. And I think I know why. Teddy bears are more than just toys. They're like best friends who never judge us. They listen to our secrets, they comfort us when we're sad, and they're always there for a hug, no matter what. So, the next time you cuddle up with your teddy bear, remember the story of President Theodore Roosevelt and the kind act that started it all. And remember, be kind to each other, just like President Roosevelt was to that bear. See you in the next video on the history of random stuff.